Hello and welcome, my friends. It's me, Jennifer from Mystic Star. Happy Friday the 13th. I know that many people dread Friday the 13th. However, that's a societal energy, not any other type of energy. We're looking at generations, hundreds of years of Friday the 13th being doom and gloom. It's not. So when you look at things in a critical perspective, sometimes you can see things in a different way. So the number 13 in numerology is associated with the goddess. Fridays are also considered as a day of the goddess. Friday is the day for the goddess. Each day had a specific reasoning. So Friday the 13th was a day to very much celebrate the goddess, that divine feminine energy. It's why society has really naysayed and kind of squashed and caused fear with Friday the 13th. Now, if you follow me on my social media, so Twitter, Facebook, what's the other one? Instagram. Sorry. I wanted to say Pinterest, but I'm probably there too. But I have a Friday the 13th tarot spread or oracle spread that can help you connect into that divine feminine. Get away from that stereotypical fear and get down to what the day can really offer you. Okay, now done with my Friday the 13th. Kind of not really rant, spiel, I guess, if you will. Really important that we embrace what we can when we can. So today I'm going to look at the week to come. I like to give you guys a couple of days to really get things in order and get your head wrapped around what you're going to need to do and what's to come. So we're going to be looking at the week of the week of August 15th through the 21st. It sounds crazy that we're already at August 21st. Anyway, so the decks I'm going to be using for this reading, I have the Wizard's Tarot. This is the Wizard's Tarot by Barbara Moore. There's a couple different Wizard's Tarot. I really enjoy this. It's got such upside down imagery, but beautiful imagery. Barbara Moore has done many beautiful decks, including the Tarot of the Hidden Realm. Absolutely stunning. And I've matched it with the Enchanted Map Oracle. Again, I really enjoy this. They really speak well together, and I like their energies. Like always, I do have links below to these decks, so should they speak to you, you can go check them out for yourselves. I find it's important to teach along the way, so you'll also hear me teaching along the way. All right, let's get into this week to come. What can my friends expect from the week of August 15th through to the 20th? Woo! It's all sorts of all over the place. So one thing I've noticed about this deck, today it's very flippy and jumpy. Intention. So setting those intentions, being mindful and meaningful. The more you set those intentions, you're clearly stating to yourself and giving yourself an opportunity to ask for the help that you need, because the high vibrational beings, of course, need that request. They cannot break the law of free will. You need to ask them for the help that you need. Even if you don't know what it is you need to use your words and you need to ask. Because we're going to get some work done, my friends. Check it out. We're going to get our head out of that rat race and we're going to see that beauty, make connections, make things more meaningful and a whole lot more colorful. So fantastic. So this week really will be looking at moving you forward in an intentional way. We've got meaning and fulfillment within it. It's about you taking those time, reflect in, check in with you, and being mindful, being present in the here and now so that you can grasp those amazing opportunities, those amazing miracles that happen throughout your day, throughout your weeks, so that you can really engage with your day, engage with your life. It's yours. You're the only one that has the ability to do this. You're the only one that has the ability to make decisions, find meaning, and find happiness. All right. What can my friends expect? Sorry, I just finished my Patreon readings from the beginning of the week. For those who don't know, I do separate readings for my Patreon friends, and I have the same forum where they can ask questions. It's a live reading, and they have their own special readings. They also get early access to all my meditations. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. The Six of Pentacles. To find meaning, we need that reflection. To find meaning, we need that balance. To find meaning, we need that stability. And we're going to create it within ourselves at the beginning of the week. Like I said, no one's going to do this for us. This is our life. We need to take ownership of it. So being very, again, intentional with the choices you're making. You know that you want to make some movement. You know that you want to find that fulfillment and joy. Well, to do that, what you're going to need to do, balance your energies. Taking time to do those meditations. Now, if you're new to my channel and don't know about my meditations, I have 4 playlists. Most of them are meditations. I do have a mindfulness kind of tool. Some of it's borderlining on meditation, but not quite. Then I have an archangel healing meditation, a Just You and Me playlist, where it's just you and me, and then a short and sweet meditation, where it's, short and sweet. All are guided, and all are free for you to use with no strings attached. Again, you'll find links below to all those playlists. But that meditation really does help find that calm within us, that's centered within us, and helps us ground. Because especially with my healing meditations and my Just You and Me playlist, I make sure that we have that grounding component in that within that meditation. So you have that ability to ground and feel stable. So the beginning of the week, we want to find that stability. We want to start to lay that foundation to ensuring that all things have adequate time and energy, that you're paying attention to all the balls in play. Because it's not just one aspect, there's multiple aspects of self, lots of demands and expectations. So let's see, and I'm going to change it up. So my friends who've seen my videos before, I kind of got some feedback this morning as I was setting up that I needed to change things up, and this is how. Whoa, and they already know because they told me. What challenge will my Patreon friends or my friends face for the week, the beginning of the week? So English is not my first language this week. I don't know why, I just can't talk. It's crazy. Some of you may have seen her. We have the beautiful Queen of Pentacles. Where we want stability, where we want very much to feel like we are in charge, that we are balanced, and we are supporting all aspects of self and everybody in our life. It's the one thing we're going to struggle with most. Feeling grounded and stable. We have to be careful that when we have a false sense of stability in the gunkiness that isn't working, because that happens, we feel like we can do more than what we can. However, we can restabilize ourselves and really make sure that we have that grounded foundation to help us forward. Now, that may sound confusing. Let me break it down a little bit more. Many of us have aspects of self, aspects of life that isn't working. Hands up, right? Like, come on. If everything was working perfectly, well, you'd be on the front lines of how or what to do, how things have gone so well. That's not why we're here. We're here to learn and experience. So we get a false feeling of stability and almost pride. This is where your ego is getting in play. They're like, yeah, look at me. I'm the greatest. Yet inside, we feel uncertain, unsure, and we're questioning and doubting ourselves. So we've built a false stability. The beginning of the week, we're going to have that opportunity to start to safely and with intention shake that foundation a bit within ourselves and crash through it by creating a stable, high vibrational foundation and platform. So, how do you do that? By using the Queen of Pentacles, even though she's your challenge, as your support. What is her primary role? Divine feminine. What does she do? She's about growth. She's about development. She's about fertility and nurturing. She is the incarnate of the Empress, the everyday aspect of the Empress. So let's incorporate those elements into our everyday. It will help to break down in a stable way that falseness, giving us that stability that we need. That stability that we need to really embrace those amazing aspects that are to come. Now, don't be surprised if in the beginning of the week, you don't have people calling you out on stuff where they're starting to question you and your abilities. Why? Because we're starting to see some of those cracks yourself. And like I said, deep down, we are questioning ourselves. We're not too sure. And the one thing people do, mirror the energies that we're thinking. So that instability, that, oh, I don't know if I can do this. Can I keep holding out? Do they believe me? Will start to be reflected back on you. That uncertainty, that fear, which is going to put a bit more pressure on you, which really, really reinforces that need, taking a little bit of time here and there with great intention, guys. So you don't have to be like, okay, I have to like try and schedule in a 30-minute meditation. Well, some of us don't have 30 minutes in the day. Between work, we got demands of family, demands of kids, demands of pets, demands of food, and everything else. You can do it smartly by setting those intentions. So while you're in the shower, you can start to take care of you. Easy way of doing that, start to visualize that heaviness coming off your shoulders with the water hitting your shoulders. Most of us try and bathe at least once or twice, once a day or every other day. While you are working out, you can see your muscles releasing. You can visualize it. You can ask for help and say, okay, I'm going to release some of that toxic energy that I'm holding onto, that uncertainty, as I go for my run, as I do my yoga class, as I do whatever. You set those intentions, so easy. You're not working harder, you're working smarter. And you're not doing anything extra. Are meditations great? Absolutely. That's why I have my playlists. That's why they are free for you to use, because I want you to have those tools when you have the ability, because I know time is premium. Another fantastic way, and I encourage my clients and my students to do this. Before you go to bed, ask the high vibrational beings to heal you, to rejuvenate you, and to share their guidance, and to help you remember what it is they shared. Because some of us have some dreams and you're like, wow, that was mind-blowing. That was so important to me. And then you sit up and you're like, oh man, I just forgot the hell I would, what did I? So ask them for the help. We're setting intentions. We're asking. Like I said before, high vibrational beings cannot break the law of free will. They cannot come in and just save us. That's not why we're here. So you can ask them to help you remember. And then I encourage my students and clients to have a binder, not one of them small little books that say spiritual journal. No. That's not going to help you. You need something that's versatile and easy to find and easy to fill. Because a lot of people will write lots of stuff, or they'll do stuff, and they have these little books all over the place. If you have a binder, you've got space. You can add pictures. I have clients who have different feathers that they found, and then as they've gone through their journey, they've been able to identify what those feathers were for them. So have that binder like right at the side of your bed, and you can hoist it up, grab a pen, write down a symbol, a thought, or whatever. And if nothing came to you, what's more, how did you sleep? Many people also struggle with their sleep. High vibrational beings can support you in sleeping better because you can ask for that. Again, asking is what we need. I also encourage, especially if you're going to be asking for healing, support, or what have you, to have what's called tiger iron. Now, this is a piece that's shaped in a heart. It's tiger iron. It's a dark brown with kind of a reddy brown color. And what I'm about to suggest, you do want the polished, not the rough. This is a clear quartz because rough will hurt. You don't want that. To tuck it in your pillow, underneath your pillow where your head would be, to help ground you. Many clients, many people complain that they wake up and they slept 8 hours. They slept 10 hours, 12, how many hours you sleep. And then they wake up and they're exhausted. That's because you're not sleeping. It's called astroplaning, and people leave. And they don't know they're doing it. However, that little trick helps them stay grounded throughout their sleep, and they feel so much better because it's so easy to astroplane when you're sleeping because your ego is not holding you in check and you're not questioning yourself. You're out of there. So at the beginning of the week, be very mindful and make sure you're taking care of you. That way you have that very hardcore, stable, high vibrational support that's going to really help you do what it is you want to do. We want to get out of this maze, this rat race. We need to find that meaning, that beauty in our everyday, because if we don't do that, before we know it, we're at our end of our life. How many people actually feel as old as they are by number, by birth year? I know I don't. I feel like I just got out of high school, yet I have high school age students, like kids. So I didn't have kids early in life. So I don't feel as old as I actually am. And I keep saying this every week. Can't believe we're already talking about the middle to end of this month, the middle to end or the end of this month. Why? Because we get our head caught up in this maze, and that's it. The day is done, we're exhausted, and then we rinse and repeat. Yay. Feeling like we're getting nowhere, disconnecting even more. This week is about connecting in and finding those opportunities, finding different aspects that are going to support you in gaining that meaning. So, we don't feel like we're rinsing and repeating. We can start to learn those lessons. We can start to break patterns and shift things in our life, creating amazing, stable change. go into the middle of the week, because the beginning of the week, we're looking at that stability. What happens in the middle of the week? What can my friends expect in the middle of the week? Now, I see people are popping in and off. If you're new to my channel, you are very welcome to ask questions as we go along. And if you're some of my friends who like to just come in and watch, welcome. You are always welcome to join us. The King of Pentacles, Midas touch himself. His wife may be our Achilles heel at the beginning of the week, but working with her rather than against her will start to turn her rigidity a bit and support us in really gaining that growth and that aha. Little steps, little tools go a long way in making it a positive change. And these are little things that you can do easily. It's like when we're on a New Year's resolution. I'm going to lose weight. That lasts, a couple days? And you're like, I really need cheesecake. It's too much of a jump. However, if you say, you know what, I think I'm going to incorporate more vegetables into my week. Well, that went well. You know what, I think I'm going to do this. Where you're doing those little shifts, so much more meaningful. Like you can stabilize it. You can keep them. You can add on to them and you can change them. Those leaps, what happens? Just like when we do the New Year's resolution, not only, okay, we might lose 5 or 10 pounds and then we gain like 15 back. That's exactly what happens when we do any leap of faith. We jump forward and our ego will claw us back to where we were and then some. However, we take these little baby steps and you're taking it slow and steady. Sure, it might take some time. And you might be like, I am revisiting this again. Yay. However, it gives you that ability to really understand, why are you revisiting it again? And how can you make changes? How can you break that pattern? What is it about this reoccurrence that keeps coming up? What are you doing the same? What's more, how can you do it differently so that you start to change you in slow, steady shifts? That reflection is amazing. Yes, it can, again, we're looking at time, right? I encourage people to, like I said, work more efficiently. So while you're making dinner, start to look at, okay, so today at work, I had the same thing happen again. What is it about this pattern? Like, what is it about this situation that keeps coming up? We don't want to get into the pain. We don't want to really succumb to our ego that's going to come in and go, oh, poor thing. This should never happen. All this pain, all this heartache, all this fear. No, stay here in your head. Okay, so what is it? Think of it as looking at an outside. So if you had a friend with the same situation that kept coming up, what is it that keeps coming up? And what's more, what natural skills and abilities do you have to make that shift? And that's exactly what we're dealing with the King of Pentacles. Kings in any suit, they have the most developed personality, the most power, the most control. He makes his own pathway wherever he needs. And that's what we need to do. Not to mention, he also, on his own little pathway, finds the opportunities that bring him that abundance and that growth. He's Midas. King Midas himself. Hi, Heather. Thank you. You too. I'm really hoping that people are okay right now. I know it's very hard because we've got people flooding, we've got people on fire, and the energies are really, really challenging right now. But when you start to focus in and take time for you, not only are you going to improve you and your life, you start to inspire others. And that's a huge piece. I know we like to, especially as a parent, you want to make sure that, you know, your kids are doing it right. But when you naturally start to dive into things, like I had some crystals out a few minutes ago. Many times I've gone to do that where I'm like, this is this crystal. And my kids have taken them because they've listened to me without me preaching to them. So it's true. The sun does come out after the storm. I'm not sure if you lived through the heat dome that came through, but for a while there, we were just praying that the sun would maybe take a vacation because it got really hot. But yes, it's true. So with the King of Pentacles, the Seven of Pentacles. Now, sevens are a tricky number because we're looking at, it's a really numerology, we're looking at a lucky number. However, to get that luck, sometimes we have to work at it. And that's exactly what we're talking about. Heather, if you're living in California, I hope you have air conditioning. 110? Ouch. I hope you're not by those fires. I don't know if you live by that area that burnt down. Last week I did ask everybody to send love and a virtual, like a big energetical hug to everybody who's been struggling with the fires, with the flooding, with the crazy weather. It's a lot to deal with, especially as many of us are still dealing with COVID. So, Seven of Pentacles. When we're dealing with the Seven of Pentacles, and this looks like she's more confused than anything. I don't know if it'll come up in camera. There it is. Now if I can get the shine off. So she's looking at it like she's confused. That's not really the energy that Pamela Coleman Smith, who was the original illustrator of the minor, well, she's the illustrator of the entire deck, but she really was the mother of the minor arcana. In the Seven of Pentacles, you have a man who's kind of leaning on his shovel or his gardening tool, and there's a beautiful, well-sculpted bush with 7 pentacles. And in the background, it's like desert. You can tell he's worked hard. You can tell he's tired, but he's damn proud of that bush. And that's the energy that we're really going to be working with. Sure, it's going to take a little bit of time. Can we work smart? Absolutely. But we're still working. Is it going to be backbreaking, laborious work? Well, not really. Not unless that's what you physically have to do for something else. We just need to be able to put that time in and work on for us, because this is our journey. And the more we do give back to us, the more we're able to give to others, because we're rejuvenating ourselves. So now we are really starting to see a pattern with pentacles here, really reminding you guys that grounding is going to be super important. I do have grounding meditations in all my playlists, but things like tiger iron, things like black obsidian that are easy to find, super helpful. And if you're not a crystal person and you don't really want to spend a lot of money on stuff, because I'm not about, hey, go buy the greatest and latest. You can use stuff that you already have in your kitchen. So adding a little bit of cinnamon into your coffee, like so into your ground coffee, and have a little bit of an earthy taste to your coffee like that. Easy way to add that grounding energy to help maintain you throughout your day. All right. What challenge will my friends face in the middle of the week? Judgment, the 20th card in the Major Arcana. It's a fantastic and beautiful rendition, and really less creepy. This is the card where you have the angel with the horn and then all these blue people. They are dead. It is a little bit of a zombie type card. It can be a bit more of a funky card to sometimes to really work with. But this is beautiful. It shows Archangel Gabriel here as an owl. And then you have people in lost and confused. Sure. Are they playing in a graveyard? Yes. But they don't have that same blue tone. The real reason we have the card, like the major overtone of the card, is not waiting till the very end to hear the message. You need to be open to it. And that's the one thing we're not going to be doing this week, especially in the middle of the week. Your ego is going to find every trick it can to disconnect you from what's going to be really important for you. Those messages, that guidance. Knowing that you can work on different things to help with that connection. So I'm a big chakra girl, big Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. So working with your crown chakra and your third eye. I have a balancing meditation in my Just You and Me playlist that I brought out in December that balances your chakras. It will help because, again, we're looking at balance and stability. That stability is really important. I also have a meditation with Archangel Raziel in my Archangel Healing Meditations. That's exactly what we work on, is your abilities. And yes, everybody has them. I don't know how many times I say that and people still say, well, are you sure? I am absolutely sure. The only thing is that, well, if you're under 10, you've probably shut down your abilities. There are many teenagers and many young adults that were encouraged and nurtured. Many of us, however, were not. We were shut down due to something that we saw or heard or something that scared us in our abilities. Or moreover, and this is more the case, that people told us we were crazy and that they were going to, and depending on what decade you were born, put us into a padded room, put us into an asylum, or medicate us. So we kind of shut down. And some of us did go through the medication, and I've worked with people who've had the medication that really, really shut down the top chakras from throat up. It's not fun. It is manageable, and yes, you can break it. It's sad that we had to do that. However, we knew that going in. So when we signed up for this journey, we signed up for when we were going to be born. We were very clear what day we wanted to be born and any other circumstances. So if we wanted to have a disability, and yes, people do, it's crazy, but we do, we sign up for it. We're like, this is what I need to learn. This is what I want to work on. Really hard, especially if you've had a family member who's died from cancer or a child that has died. But yes, we sign up for some of this. It's weird. I know. I'd love to know what I signed up for and really how intoxicated I was. That said, you have the ability. You can nurture them. It may be a challenge, but just like any other challenge, a little bit of hard work, you're going to be successful. Middle of the week, we do have the Seven of Pentacles. So taking that time for you. Let's head off to the end of the week. What can my friends expect from the end of the week? Now, I should say the full moon is coming in on the 22nd, as is Virgo. So we're going to have another really exciting night of energies. We've had this a couple of times where we've had Zodiac come in on a full moon. Gemini was one of them. And it was quite a rockin' and a rollin'. Castors and Pollock was in fine form. I enjoyed it. It was crazy. And if you guys had a really turbulent end of May, beginning of June, you can thank Castors and Pollock. So we have that coming in, and that is on Sunday. However, because it's a full moon energy, you have the ability to connect into that nurturing energy 2 days before. So about Friday. So we're going to be able to do that at the end of the week. Super exciting. The 10 of Cups. Such a beautiful card. So we have two family cards in tarot. We have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. We have the 10 here of Cups. So we have that familial connection. Now, I do have a lot of clients and friends who do not have really positive relationships with their biological families. It's not what we're talking about. It's about those individuals who are really supportive. I don't know about you, but I have some friends that are like sisters and brothers to me. They're not strangers. They're there for me. I'm there for them, 110%. Family is what you make it. At the end of the week, it's going to be important to connect in, just to not only ground ourselves a little bit into this kind of into our life and our world, but to enjoy and celebrate. The Ten of Cups usually has this beautiful rainbow in it. Like I said at the beginning, we have to find the joy and the beauty in our everyday, which includes those really close family and friends. We want those positive relationships that we can really connect in with. Now, we also have it as a cup, and in tarot, cups are always about intuition and emotion. Like I said, intuition is going to be a challenge, and challenge accepted. Work on it. Again, it doesn't have to be lots of work, just a little bit of work. Because a little bit of work will go a long way. We not only have our birth family, we have what's called an astral family. And that family is our high vibrational family. And they can be part of our birth family. They can be part of our friend family. They can be part of a stranger. You walk by and go, do I know you? And you find out actually there's no physical way you guys know each other, but yet somehow you both feel like you know each other. Astral family. Now, a lot of us have astral family, a number of them, up in, well, the energetical realm. You have the ability to connect in with them. I did a meditation last year, I can't remember when, with an archangel who's not well known, named Archangel Mariel. Archangel Mariel works with our astral family. And it's a fantastic, fantastic meditation, because not only are you going to work, like be introduced to an astral family member, you're going to be reminded of a tool that is really important to you that you've forgotten. A tool or an aspect. I loved it. I love channeling the archangels, because it's like, okay, I'm going to do this meditation with this archangel. It's changed because I've had archangels go, no, I'm sorry, I need to work with you today. I'm like, okay, so we're changing everything. But the meditations are so powerful, so amazing. So you can, and I encourage you, try it out. Especially during that nurturing full moon, you're going to find that divine feminine will really help you connect in and find that relationship with your astral family member. Now, if you are like me, who when I find out an idea, I really kind of get nerdy on it. If you really want some supports on working with your clairs and working with your abilities, I did a meditative series, it's 3 of them, where we connect in with our high vibrational support team. And the first one is with our guardian angel. And then I can't remember the order I did it. I think it was guides and then another support, because everybody's team is different. And yes, it can get quite big depending on who you are. So you can also, like me, I like to nerd out and do stuff like that. They just reminded me of that. And I if you go into my playlist, you'll see why I keep forgetting which meditations I have, because I bring them out and I love them. And I'm like, this is fantastic. And then as I'm reading, I really just kind of go forward and go, well, when they come up, they'll remind me. So with the 10 of Cups, we have strength. I adore this rendition. She's got her dragon, she's got her magic, and she's loving it. So strength, and the one thing that I can say that I wish that they did have above her floral crown is an infinity symbol. I think that infinity symbol would have really, really helped out. And I have had feedback that there's an infinity symbol in her hair. No, I want a very overt one, because that's how Pamela Coleman Smith drew it. A very overt one, because it is the connection to the Magician card. What Strength talks about is using our own skills and our abilities, not just as cookie cutter ways. Like if you look at the Magician, it looks pretty cookie cutter. He's got all the tools, all the pentacles, the swords, the cups, wands, all on his desk, and he's got the energy, and he's just like, yeah, done. Strength kicks it up a notch. We're using those abilities in our own way. We're combining and creating, using that creativity to make something that's meaningful, that works for us. And that's really what we're going to have at the end of the week, those ahas, where you're like, oh, I like this and this. And what happens if I smush them together? Oh, look what I have. It's in that creativity, in that wonder, that you're going to find what we're missing. But what more, and the most important thing is that you're going to be open and observant to the here and now, rather than doing that rinse and repeat of, yep, here I go again. I'm going to work. Yeah, here I go. I'm making dinner. Okay, it's bedtime. All right, let's see what the challenge is here. What challenge will my friends face at the end of the week? I love the Wizard's Tarot. I think they've drawn it really well. Some of the energies that they've picked out, like on the Seven of Pentacles, not my thing, but there are times it does work. Justice. She's the 11th card. Usually it's a she in the Major Arcana. That right, that wrong, that black and white. We're going to be overcritical, overjudging, and there isn't going to be that rainbow. It's going to be black and white. That thinking is going to minimize things, and your ego knows it. Your ego knows exactly how to manipulate you. They all do, because they are part of us. It's the low vibrational part of us, but at the end of the day, they're still part of us. So that black and white thinking is really going to impact us. It's also going to impact our ability to connect in to the high vibrational energy that we want to connect into. And if you want to do some work with your clairs or your intuition, it's going to be impacted by that black and white. It's not yes or no. There are very few things in life that are yes or no. The Seven of Swords. Trying to get away with stuff. Your ego has put this fluffy, puffy kind of, think of it as a suit of armor around you to protect you. And let's be honest, many of us needed that to survive adolescence. We would have never got this far if we didn't have it. We weren't hurt by those mean words. We weren't hurt by actions and by, well, adolescence in itself. But as we get older, it's really important that we start to shed some of that, because we've become so disconnected to who we truly are. That authentic self. The Seven of Swords does talk about trying to get away with something. And I say it only has one meaning. I'm only talking one of the meanings. It's the meaning that's coming up to me. If you ever were to Google what the Seven of Swords do, and I've had people, I've done readings for people, and I'm like, that's not what Google says. There's not one meaning. There's pages and pages of meanings. But the Seven of Swords does talk about an aspect of it. Will talk about trying to get away with something. We're trying to get away with something. Our lower self is definitely trying to get away with something. We're going to have that resistance and that fear to letting go of that protection. It's hard to be vulnerable. It's hard to be authentic. Is it important? Absolutely. Is it still terrifying? Absolutely. But when we are more authentic, we can start to connect into those aspects, those pieces, those tools, those abilities so much more. You're going to have that resistance because it's going to be yes or no. I sometimes I'm amazed at how creative our ego actually is without using creativity. And this is the Four of Pentacles. That instability that I kept warning you about. I'm like, we're getting quite the pentacle range here. And I said, make sure you have that grounded energy because stability is going to be important. It's going to hit you hard at the end of the week. Things are going to come crashing in and we're going to feel really unstable. We're going to feel really unsure and we're going to regress because we have justice. We have the Seven of Swords and we have the Four of Pentacles. So we're going to have that instability. We're going to have that worry, that fear, which makes us reactive. And that's an ego-based response rather than when you're thinking about it going, okay, this person's having a bad day. I'm just going to say, you know what, let's take a break. Or, you know what, I need a break. You can start to use the critical thinking, the higher vibration, when you're using those higher senses. So we're going to feel really vulnerable at the end of the week. It's going to be imperative that we take time not only to ground ourselves, but to protect ourselves. And no, I'm not telling you to go get a suit of armor, although that would be epic if everybody started walking around with armor, which I think may be illegal in some places. But that energetical protection. Because the worst part of this, and I'd mentioned it at the beginning of the week, people reflect the energies that we put out there. So if we're already feeling a little bit insecure, scared, and unsure, people are going to push you. I have no idea why we do that, but we do. We reflect it back at them, which aggravates and amplifies it. Protecting ourselves helps us be able to not be so pushed by external energies and being able to make better choices for us, because that's important. Ways to protect yourself. Easy way, I have a protection meditation is the very first one on my Just You and Me playlist, where I use the Divine Feminine, the Divine Masculine, and Archangel Michael's energy to protect you. It's a fantastic one that I really encourage. And I had taught to other students and clients historically. So now I've brought it out so everybody can use it. Other ways, some people have protection sprays. I'm waffle on those sometimes because they can get, depending on who's doing them, it may not be as genuine as others. That's all I'm going to say on that. You can also use things like selenite, which is a fantastic, fantastic cleansing crystal. I encourage people to have little pieces, and you can get little strips of or bars of selenite, and you can put it above your windows or doors so that you can make sure that you've got that protection. You're more protecting your space. You could wear selenite, absolutely. I believe there are like selenite bracelets. I have a selenite sphere. Yeah, we'll call it a sphere. That I can carry around with me. But usually, let me see if I can find my selenite. And for those who don't know, I don't keep my crystals out in display. I live in Alberta and the sun gets really hot. And yeah, then it gets really cold because it randomly snows here and things break. So this is just a selenite bar. They're not really expensive. And they're flat so that you can put them above your door frame. You can put them above your windowsill. And that will very easily help protect the energies coming into your home. And of course, you can always clear out your energies of your home, your office. There's lots of ways that you can do it. But that energy is going to be really important, especially at the end of the week. Okay? The more stable, the more calm you are, the more you're going to be able to embrace those around you and really start to own that authenticity a little bit more. All right, we're going to end off on any further insight and wisdom that will support my friends in connecting into the message and guidance of the week. So my friends who are still online with me, if you guys have any questions or want me to answer anything, this is a great time to do it because I am coming to the end. All right. We talked about this at the beginning, I believe. Oh, no, maybe we didn't. Sorry. Slow and steady. Yeah, no, we did because we talked about the leaps and bounds. We do want to take it slow and steady. We don't want things fast and furious. We want, A, not to miss anything, and B, those leaps of faith, they never help anybody. So let's do this right. Ride the wave. I love the little fairy that's riding the dolphin. That's epic. So Ride the Wave talks about instead of working harder to work smarter. And I talked about that earlier in the reading on how it's really important to not necessarily multitask, but as you're doing something that is so repetitive that we don't really think, it's like a mindless go, that you can set some of these intentions and that you can get some of this work done, especially while you sleep. Yep. Ghostland. Kind of a bit of a somber card for sure. But what really sticks out in my mind is this numbers, this clock. Well, they're kind of numbers. They look like numbers went in reverse, but that clock pendulum. We don't have an infinite amount of time in this lifetime. Like I said before, many of us don't feel like our age, our numerical age. It's only a matter of time before we're at that end of this lifetime. And we're greeted with Archangel Azrael, and we're starting to look back. What is it that we learned and what is it that we missed? And then we start to create another plan of what we're going to do in the next lifetime because we understand and remember everything. We need to use this time right now to our advantage before, well, not that it's too late, before we have to redo everything and come back to the same patterns. It's time to use our skills and our abilities and those energies around us to our advantage. I want to thank you guys so much for joining me today. I hope that this helps you understand what the week is going to bring you. For my friends who've been with me for a while, I'd love to get some feedback on what you think of the different spread. And for my new friends, what did you think? I love getting feedback. It helps me to make things not only more meaningful for you, but also it gives me some ideas and some creativity. I'm not a static tarot reader. That's not my thing. It never has been. I'm organic and I'm intuitive. And that intuition, it serves me well because I go off on tangents that are meaningful for you guys. So feedback, if you like, that'd be fantastic. And like I said before, if you join me on some of my social medias, I do have that Friday the 13th spread on most of them. I'm still putting some up now, but it will be there later today. So if you wanted to try a spread for yourself, and it does not matter if it's tarot or oracle. And next week, I will be doing my full moon reading on Thursday or Friday. I have both my kids at home and there's lots going on. So I'm not sure if it will be Thursday on its own or if I'll be doing a double header on Friday. I will let people know, of course, through my social media. And then also you'll see it on my Facebook page or on my YouTube page. So I hope this is very helpful. And thank you guys so much for joining me. Until tomorrow, my friends.